Well, a new report from Goldman Sachs says American consumers are feeling the pinch more than ever before. Analysts now estimate U.S. households are shouldering more than half the cost of recent tariffs, a shift that's driving up prices and pushing inflation higher. Tariffs have already been added close to a 0.5 percentage point to the nation's core inflation, and that is expected to climb nearly 3% by December. Let's go inside the numbers now with Professor Sina Golara from Georgia State's College of Business. He joins us now. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
All right. Talk to us about what's driving the shift on consumers instead of on these companies.
Well, tariffs are increasing the cost of imports, and so that leaves the American importers and businesses with the choice of whether they should pass on these costs to consumer or absorb them or find alternatives. The last two has been difficult, and finding alternatives for business practices that have been cemented for several decades now has been really challenging. It's going to take a lot of time. So the easiest solution for many businesses, at least for the short term, is to pass on these costs to consumers, which will show up in the form of consumer prices rising.
Yeah, there's a figure out there, 55%. How does that translate to the everyday shopper? Is it just a few cents more, or is it a real sticker shock for major items?
I think it's going to be a tangible impact. Adding up all the tariff costs, some estimates show that this could amount to a few $1,000s per household. So it's very difficult to exactly pinpoint, but for the items that are being tariffed, the consumer will definitely feel a meaningful change in the price they pay.
Yeah. What kind of industries are really going to be most exposed here?
Pretty much all the industries impacted by targeted by tariffs. So we import a lot of things from a lot of places. Lots of Chinese products, for example, are going to be heavily impacted. They have some of the highest tariff levels. Furniture, plastic items, toys, some electronics, and housing-related items, lumber, copper, iron. Pretty much they are vast and wide, and so the administration has been very liberal with where they apply these tariffs, so the effects will be widespread. Yeah,
like those companies you just named, how much flexibility will they really have, or can they just source around the tariffs, or is that just an easier said than done term?
Yeah, the theory is once you increase the cost of import, the American business would be forced to find a replacement domestically. But the big question is there a good choice there? And it's important to realize that there has been a very important, strong, and structural reason that these companies have been sourcing from outside the America, and that has been, a lot of the economics of trade, and the fact that it's very expensive to make many of these items domestically, and so for that reason, many businesses have relied on foreign goods, and they have built their whole supply chains around that. This is something that will take many years, maybe 5 years, 10 years, even if and it may not even work for all the industries, but for the ones that do, it will take time. So they can find good resources domestically. In the meantime, there will be a lot of pain. Either the business has to shoulder that, or the consumer. And if the business shoulders it, the consumers is still, at the end of the day, will be paying that.
Got 30 seconds left. Do you expect these burdens to grow, or eventually we'll see the 60% or 70%, or will they come down? What do you think?
I think for the next year or two, I don't anticipate much change in foreigners paying. So it will be just the American business and American consumer juggling the burden between each other. And a lot of the things that will happen is initially businesses are reluctant to pass on the cost, but they will slowly raise prices and make the consumer pay for it step by step more and more.
Gotcha. Professor Golara, thanks so much for joining us. Thanks so much for your insight. Appreciate you, man.